Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the live show with Musart. Today I'm joined by Rumki Chowdhury, who's here with her latest book, Unveiled, which talks about the struggles that us women go through, and it's expressed through poems. I read a few poems in it, and oh my god, I can totally relate. And she's here with us now. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you so much for coming over from Netherlands. Sorry, Sweden.
Sweden.
I don't know why I keep saying Netherlands.
Thank you for sorry. Thank you for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure, and we've been communicating for quite a while now. And you know, you're also an author of several books, and right now you decided to do a poem book. So, can you talk about it, please?
Sure. Unveiled is actually it's my first collection of poetry that I've published. My other two books were novels, so it was completely different. But the thing is, I've just wanted to do something centering around the daily struggles of a hijabi. And I just wanted to put it into words, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it. And I was sitting one night and I was just thinking, how can I do this? Like, what should I create? Should I create like a coloring book about like different hijabis for children to inspire them for the future? Or what should I do? So I was just sitting there one night, and then I thought, you know what? I really like poetry and I like reading it, and I've written it before. Maybe I should give it another try. And then I decided to actually write a book about the daily struggles of a hijabi, which is broken up, and I wanted to make it very structured.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just, because when I went to university, my professor would tell me, every time you write a poem, every stanza, every line, you have to have some sort of a meaning behind it. You can't just blurt out a poem and just write it for no reason. There has to be a reason for how you structure it as well. So I sat there that night and I thought, how am I going to structure this book? I would like to have it in 3 parts.
Yeah.
Mind, body, and soul, which focuses on the mind of a hijabi, the body of a hijabi, and the soul of a hijabi, and the struggles that they have individually within these 3 parts. At the same time, I would like to start off with the misconception that I am trapped because I have this hijab on. So I thought, okay, I'm going to start off with I am trapped in each section, and I'm going to end with I am free.
Yeah.
But in between all that, I need to explain in a very specific way that people can understand, you know, what I'm trying to say. So I thought I can use metaphors. Now, when I think of free, I think birds. I think they're flying, they're soaring. So I decided to have a bird metaphor in each part of the poem, so mind, body, and soul. So I have different types of birds in each one. I have a raven, and then I have a peacock, and then I have the dove. Okay. So I have those 3, and I put them together.
Well, poetry is quite based on symbolism, isn't it? So
it's
always there was like a hidden meaning behind each word. I remember learning this in English literature. So every, like, now that you mentioned the raven and the peacock and the dove, I can totally relate. So I know why you've probably done that. It's like,
yeah.
So it's a transforming from, you know, a raven that's just quiet and you know, and curious, and then going into a beautiful being of a peacock, and then ending up in a beautiful dove. So you've chosen the title Unveiled.
Yeah.
Obviously you're talking about hijab, obviously not with niqab. You're talking about hijab as a general metaphor, like modest dressing, the struggles behind it. So tell me a bit more about the title.
The title, I had a few different title ideas, but in the end I stuck to Unveiled because obviously this is a veil.
Yeah.
But underneath this, we're human beings. We have our own personal experiences, our own personal levels of personalities. A lot of us are actually very educated, and some of us are not due to unforeseen circumstances, depending on where you're living in the world. But I wanted to kind of put that all together and just show that we're just more than hijabis, basically. You know, we're a lot more. We're just normal human beings going through daily struggles of life. The only thing that makes us different is that we wear this for the sake of Allah. So that's why I thought Unveiled would be a suitable title. And the cover image as well, I wanted it to be like this hijab that's almost coming off as birds flying into the sky. So it's in a way a symbol of freedom.
So I've read a few poems from there already, and I can relate on I think the struggles as we have as women, especially with society and the media, tabooing against Islam. Have you ever been through those kind of experiences yourself, being a Muslim woman, especially in Sweden, in England, or also you've grown up in the Bronx, same place as J-Lo.
I'm Rumki from the block.
Yeah. So Rumki from the block. So yeah, J-Lo, if you're watching, we have Rumki hair, okay? We need you here too. No, so,
yeah.
Tell me a bit more about your experiences growing up as a Muslim woman. Because I'm sure they must have been elaborated throughout your poems and your feelings, because you cannot write without going through these experiences.
What happens is after these 3 sections of poetry, mind, body, and soul, I also have a 4th section called My Hijab Diary. And that focuses on my personal struggles as a Muslim woman growing up in Western society. So I grew up when 9/11 happened.
Oh, wow.
I went to high school at the time in the Bronx, New York. And I remember seeing the smoke from the window. It was that thick. I could see all the way from the Bronx, and that happened in Manhattan. Wow. And it was just like a complete shock for me. And immediately after that, that's when I started experiencing the prejudice around my neighborhood. And
were you wearing a hijab at the time?
I wasn't even wearing a hijab at the time. No, okay. I wasn't wearing a hijab at the time. But I saw what my mom went through. My mom was wearing a hijab at the time. And it was a very dangerous neighborhood to live in. And Bronx itself it is very dangerous in general. But after 9/11, the prejudice started coming up more. And you would think New York being so diverse that you wouldn't have to go through any experiences that are too like racist or anything, but it happened. So I've had like batteries thrown at me when I was walking down the street by some kids across. And then my mom, she was going to do her laundry. And this woman came and whispered to her, "You see that group of kids over there planning on doing something, you better rush home right now." So she rushed back home. And that was the first time like I realized what I being a non-hijabi had to go through something, and what she went through being a hijabi was just incredible. And I felt like, why doesn't she just take it off? Things like that. I was just thinking, I was young, I was in high school. But then her keeping it on kind of made me respect her a lot more. Like, it inspired me so much, her keeping the hijab on in a society following 9/11. And after that, gradually, I just been wanting to put it on. But it took me a while to get to that point. It took me a lot of different, experiences with peer pressure to get to that, because the peer pressure was not to wear it. I went to...
Were you scared of being judged?
I was scared of being judged. Exactly. That's what happened. So, it's just, I had the peer pressure of not wearing it, and a lot of youngsters that were my age, I didn't have interaction with any hijabis at the time, and it was quite uncommon for hijabis to go to school. I just didn't grow up with that experience, to be honest. If I had befriended a hijabi, then maybe I would have been influenced a lot more to go toward that side, but I wasn't, unfortunately. But it took me time, and I eventually got there. But
then obviously then you could relate, because you could see growing up with your mom going through the same thing. So tell me a bit. So that's quite interesting that you went through the 9/11 experience. Yeah. So is that what made you leave New York? Is it because of all the pressure that the Muslims were having, or did it not ever calm down?
We left New York because it was getting so dangerous there, and we just had to move to another more suburban area. So we moved to New Jersey after that, and it was a lot more safer compared to New York.
Okay. Yeah, so then you immigrated to England.
And then I moved to England. But I moved to England for different reasons. I got married. Yeah.
But could you not compare the differences?
Exactly. The difference is here.
It's very diverse.
When I came to England, I was just like, oh my gosh, look at all these beautiful hijabis everywhere. Oh my gosh,
it's so normal.
It's so normal here, and I just felt like it was a lot easier for me to take it on in this country. So much easier.
But then you moved to Sweden. So what about how's the prejudice in Sweden?
In Sweden, they're getting there. slowly. They have a lot more Muslims coming in. Last year, they had a huge hijabi model as a poster for a main department store, and that stirred up so much, like so much drama in the newspapers, and it was crazy because it was the first time that a hijabi model was here as well. They had the H&M.
Yes.
H&M is Swedish anyways,
but
it's a Swedish company. So they had that, and then we had the store Oleans, which is the main department store. You can compare it to Macy's in America. And they basically had a hijabi model on that, and it stirred up so much drama. It was just crazy, but it was inspiring. I was like, they're trying to normalize the hijab into society instead of us feeling the pressure of having to normalize ourselves.
Nike's come out with the hijab.
Yeah, exactly. I love that this year. Yeah, this
year.
So,
there's lots going on, and I think it's society's starting to realize that, we all are very different, and just because we dress differently doesn't mean we are different people.
Exactly.
It's just because of our religion or culture, norms and stuff like that. And I think the more society brings on saying not to judge people in that sense, it will make a better world to live in overall. So, would you like to read us a few poems from your book, of your favorites?
Yeah, I can. I'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
So I can read a little excerpt of that. This is the first part, which is mind. I am trapped within this whirlpool of delusions based on the conclusions created about me. You see, I am a girl, a woman, an elder. I am a daughter, a mother, a grandmother, a sister, an aunt, a daughter-in-law, a wife. Living my life in a society where they want to believe because of this thing on my head. I am limited, confined, constrained, and restrained. I am barred, encaged, my personality buried in some grave, along with my emotions, intuitions, dreams, and imaginations. Yet I see clearly the bigger picture, as should you. I am eloquent, elegant, intelligent, and creative. I am a student, a teacher, a lawyer, an engineer, a doctor, an artist, an author, a poet. I dare to dream of professions that you would never imagine for me. I dare to pursue with every emotion what your intuition could never perceive. I dare to scream. I am me. I am not you. I am one. You are two. There is only one of me and one of you. Let me clarify. Within this whirlpool of delusion, contrary to the conclusion created about me, I will give you a new impression. Finally, because it is about time that reality is not confined by the limitations of what one wants to see compared to the openness of how things should be. However, if it is limitations that help you open up like a spring bloom, then imagine me as a raven. I am a raven. Now make some room. With feathers of coal and enormous eyes burning deep into you, I remember you, I say. You, the one who wishes to demean me to the depths of darkness and only good for a hunt. When you run after me, I make the climb, clumsily at first, then swiftly until grace leads me to new heights. And I ask you, can you fly this high? Can you even fly? You may think yourself brighter in climbing to other heights, but I soar with a power, a sudden thrust of might. I may be different, but as I am just fine. Could it be true? Am I coming through? Let me explain it again. I can fly. I know you can too in your own human sort of way. I see you, watch, observe until I know you. Do you know me? Do you want to know me? Now can you see that I am a human being? Thank you.
Wow. I loved your passion in that. Thank you. We're going to go for a short break and then we're going to question Rumki further.
Sale, sale, sale. Massive clearance sale is going on from 1st November 2017. Salma Designer Abaya House is giving you up to 70% off on all designer abaya, 60% off on designer kaftan, 50% off on waistcoat, 50% off on Islamic books, 500 gram ajwa dates only for £10 and many more items. Visit our store to get this clearance sale. Salma Designer Abaya House, 118 Whitechapel Road, London E11JE. Telephone 02070182375.
আমাদের কমিউনিটিতে কার্গো বিজনেসের প্রসার ঘটিয়েছে জিএমজি। এক যুগেরও বেশি সময় ধরে জিএমজি আস্থার সাথে সেবা দিয়ে যাচ্ছে। সস্তা বিজ্ঞাপনে প্রতারিত হবেন না। জিএমজি বাংলাদেশ বিমান অনুমোদিত একমাত্র কার্গো সেলস এজেন্ট। কার্গো সেবা নিলে বেস্ট সেবাটাই নিন, নিরাপদ থাকুন। জিএমজি কার্গো, আস্থা ও বিশ্বস্ততার প্রতীক।
Oasis Banqueting Hall, Barking, is East London's first choice for any occasion, offering a range of services and facilities to suit your needs. Whether it's a wedding, birthday, anniversary, or religious service, 180 to 1,000 guests, you can trust us to make your event truly special. Oasis Banqueting Hall, Barking, the perfect choice for your occasion. For bookings, call 0208 594 2222.
পিসিও ক্লেইমস মিনিক্যাব ড্রাইভারের বিপদর বন্ধু গাড়ি অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট করিয়া জবলেস হওয়ার দিন শেষ জাস্ট ওয়ান ফোন কলে পিসিও ক্লেইমস আপনারে দিতে পারে 24 আওয়ার্স রিকভারি ইমিডিয়েট রিপ্লেসমেন্ট কার স্টোরেজ অ্যান্ড রিপেয়ার সার্ভিস 02077917799
Mom, isn't Dad come back home?
When a marriage breaks down, children suffer the most. If you are in this situation, we are here to help.
For child and family matters, Kingdom Solicitors.
সেল 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 সালমা ডিজাইনার আবায়া হাউসে ক্লিয়ারেন্স সেল 1 নভেম্বর 2017 থেকে। সালমা ডিজাইনার আবায়া হাউস দিচ্ছে সকল আবায়ার উপর সর্বোচ্চ 70% মূল্য ছাড়, কাফতানের উপর সর্বোচ্চ 60%, ওয়েস্টকোটের উপর সর্বোচ্চ 50%, 500 গ্রাম আজওয়া খেজুর মাত্র 10 পাউন্ড এবং ইসলামিক বইয়ের উপর রয়েছে সর্বোচ্চ 50% মূল্য ছাড়। আজই আসুন এবং আমাদের ক্লিয়ারেন্স সেল অফার গ্রহণ করুন। সালমা ডিজাইনার আবায়া হাউস, 118 Whitechapel Road, London E11JE. Telephone 02070182375.
Hello there. Legal Taxi's mobile app is an amazing cloud-based taxi booking solution. The taxi drivers and passengers can access this application anytime and anywhere. Are you trying to call up a taxi? Well, don't waste your precious time anymore. And now, you can book your taxi at ease. Do you want to know how? It's so simple. Download the Legal Taxis app from the App Store. Enter the location manually or drag the balloon where you want the pickup and drop to happen. Legal Taxis application shows the taxis nearby. On a single click, your request is sent to the nearest driver. The taxi driver will receive your request and accept it instantly. In return, you will receive the notification and you could check the current location of the taxi with the estimated time to reach your pickup location. At the end of your journey, you will receive the receipt of taxi fare in your mobile app. Legal Taxis app not only allows you to book regular taxis but also black cabs, mini cabs and hackney carriages. Book your taxi today for a great voyage at Legal Taxis.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful reading by Rumki Chowdhury talking about the mind section of her book. There's quite deep meaning behind it, and I could see that I could see your passion. You're very passionate about how you feel.
Yeah.
So obviously there's three sections: mind, soul,
Body and soul.
mind, body, and
Yeah.
soul. So are these in a contrast of you first explaining what the mind goes through, and then the hijab of the body, and then the hijab of the soul?
Exactly.
Obviously we've heard the first part. Would you like to explain the last two a bit more?
The first part, the mind does actually focus on the psyche of the hijabi, and the second part. Sorry, I'm saying.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's all right. The second part is body, but it's mostly about the social pressures that we get to look a certain way.
When you said, "Are you going to judge me? Are you going to be my friend?" I could see that, like,
yeah, exactly.
So it's like psychologically.
Yeah, that's more psychologically. And then I go more into the physical part of it. So I try to keep certain themes consistent in each part as well. So it's all about the misconceptions that one has about the hijabi. So they will constantly judge you and pressure you about how to look a certain way, or how you should think, or how you should feel. And that's what I wanted to focus on for each part. So feeling more about like the thinking, then go into the pressures that you have of looking a certain way, and then go into the more emotional and the feelings about everything, and about how always having eyes on you and judging you and your every movement, and then having to put on the hijab, and then you have to go through that, like you have to go through the same cycle again. Yeah. So it gets really difficult for a woman to have to go through something like that twice. First, you're used to, because I didn't always have the hijab on. Yeah. So first I'm used to the whole female aspect of, how you should look, how you should dress. Yeah. And then I put on the hijab, and then I have to worry about other things, about being judged about how I'm dressing, but in a completely different way. So it's how people look at you.
Okay, well, actually I've got a few interesting questions for you. As you said, how you didn't embrace the hijab until later on, and I understand there's lots of women out there who go through this.
Yeah, exactly.
But there'll be people out there, just because they are wearing the hijab, they will judge you. Like, you will see judgmental people out there. Or
exactly.
So,
yeah,
you probably have experienced that.
I have experienced that.
And I know there are lots of women out there who say, "Oh, okay, I wear the hijab and I feel like I'm a better Muslim than her." Because, you see this all the time, and it really annoys me, because it's not what Islam teaches. Because if you are doing that, you're actually pushing the person further away from the deen.
The thing is, someone might be like, "Oh, well, you didn't always wear the hijab," and it becomes, you're such a hypocrite, or things like that. But we all learn from our experiences in life, and we go through different stages in life. So what I've been through, I have had to go through that experience to get to this point. Yeah. So to judge someone else and call them a hypocrite, or just to think I'm a better Muslim because I've always had this on, or something like that, it's just not right, and it's not Islamic at all to judge others.
Yeah, and also I think because everybody has their own journey of deen and their own journey of iman, because it takes, obviously I know sometimes when I hear revert stories, I'm just going to give you an example there. I actually feel jealous of them sometimes.
Exactly, me too.
Because although we've been born Muslims, obviously we have lots of mixture of culture in it. So we have to go and educate ourselves, in a sense that from what our parents have taught us, fair enough, we know the Arabic things, we know what to read in Salah, we know how to read the Quran. Yeah. But I think the connection that reverts have with Islam, it's phenomenal. It's like
they weren't born with it. They have to work much harder, and they do it.
But when they do it, so wholly.
Exactly.
And then it makes me realize. Actually, makes me, now that I've been, socializing with lots of reverts again, it makes me realize, thinking now, actually, I'm being too hard on myself, because we're on the same journey. We all are on the same journey, and it takes all of us some time to replenish. And to be honest, I've become more softer on myself now since I've been exposed to them, because it makes me realize, hang on a second, I was born with this. They weren't born with it, but it inspires me to work harder.
Exactly.
And say I should be educating myself more.
I should
be getting closer to my deen.
Exactly.
And I should be softer on myself. Fair enough, okay. Sometimes, in the hustle and bustle of life, we can tend to forget to pray 5 salahs a day. We can only pray 3 or whatever, or 2, but it's about being not so hard on yourself and thinking Allah is merciful and He sees you, and it's just having that.
And intention is also very important.
Intention, and not just the intention part, and also there's lots of other aspects to Islam than just praying 5 times a day, fasting, Hajj, zakat, and all this. There's much, much more to it. It's it's a way of living of life, and I've learned that you shouldn't be judging anyone. And first of all, I should be judging myself. Okay, where am I in my deen before I even look at somebody else?
Exactly, and not just self-reflect, but I feel like instead of judging, why not try to just take that inspiration instead? Because us as a Muslim community, we just need to inspire one another instead of judging. I feel like we just need to, like what we're doing right now is amazing. I mean, communicating with you and networking with you, getting to know you, I myself am getting inspired. And I just feel like that's what we should be doing here. We should be communicating. We should be empowering each other. Yeah, that's exactly what we should be doing.
And also, I think the thing is, like I said before, is becoming this non-judgmental person. And I think what I've learned now is, and this is something I've been teaching myself for a very long time, is maybe someone is not as modest as me dressed, but they might do one little deed that Allah will forgive them all of their sins. Allah might forgive all of their sins because of that one deed, and because He's so merciful. So it's about you just recognizing, okay, if He can be so merciful to His human beings, why can we not even try 1% of that? You know? And just step back a little and just be with the person as they are.
Exactly.
Another thing I want to talk about is, mashallah, you are giving all the
proceeds go to a charity called Restless Beings.
Right.
And they help. They're currently helping the Rohingya refugees that are going over the border into Bangladesh, and most of them are orphans.
Oh wow!
And I mean, the reason why Restless Beings I just feel this connection with them is because they've been doing this for many, many years. They've been doing this before all of this blew up in media recently. They've been doing it since I think 2007 and 2008, and that was when I first discovered them. And then when I wrote this book, I thought, alhamdulillah, I feel so blessed because I already have my first novels published. I can profit from those. I don't need money for a third one. What I can do is I'll just create something to give back to society.
Mashallah, yeah.
So, and whoever buys this, they also get a gift for themselves at the same time. And alhamdulillah, Ya Rabbi Kitabs Publishing, which is in USA, the publisher of this book, they were like, we're with you all the way.
Oh, wow.
We will pay for the print costs, everything. We will pay for this stuff, all the costs. Consider a sadaqah from us. We're helping you. So alhamdulillah, they're also on my side with this project. So I feel really blessed, and I hope that it really does get a lot of, proceeds.
Inshallah. Well, so can you tell the audience where this book is available from?
This book is available on Amazon for now. It's also available through yarabbikitabspublishing.com. So you can just Google Unveiled and try to find it somewhere. I'm sure it's available.
As well.
You can also, it's also available. You can look at it on Instagram. You can also go to my website, rumki.com, rumki.com, and I have constant feeds and updates on there as well about where you can get the book and what's happening.
What I normally ask is all my guests before they leave is, what advice would you give that has been life-changing for you that they could start applying today? So if you can look at them and let them know.
The one advice that I would give, and I'm going to tell you this advice because it's helped me all through life, is you can't know where you're going unless you know where you're from. So don't ever forget where you're from and the life experiences that you have went through, and try to use that to benefit yourself and to better yourself as an individual.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Wonderful advice from Rumki Chowdhury here. And yes, if you want to buy Unveiled and also have that good feeling of helping the Rohingya Muslims, and the proceeds are going straight to charity, like Rumki said, you can Google Unveiled, and I'm sure it's not in a heavy price. Come on, we will spend some money on coffee and stuff like that. It's buying a book, you have a nice good read, and as well as especially the women out there who are hijabis and stuff like that, you would unduly connect, because I've read it and it's a wonderful book.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a wonderful book, nothing to miss out, and as well as a heart-filled, fuzzy feeling of helping the humanity out there. Until next time, thank you for watching the live show with Musart.